Hi everyone. For my final project for this class, I have decided to write an autoethnography. I have never written one before, and this was kind of out of my comfort zone. So basically, a little bit, becoming Angela's mom is what led me here to disability studies, writing this autoethnography. Her disability has led me to advocacy, sharing, and community. It has facilitated insight into my own neurodivergent mind. Angela threw me into the world of disability, which I knew very little about and thought I would never be strong enough to manage. And some days I'm not. In the 7 years I have parented Angela, I have come to understand how important community is, not only for her, but for me as well. Yet here I struggle. I am a parent to a disabled child, but I am not disabled. How do I fit in? What is my place in disability culture and in the disability community? How and where does my daughter, who has very little autonomy, fit with her culture and her community? If she needs the support of a parent or caretaker to actively participate. Disabled people are already marginalized, as we know, and Angela, who is intellectually and developmentally disabled, remains marginalized even within her own community. So how do I balance giving Angela autonomy and the space to be herself while having to be her mouthpiece? By sharing our story in this autoethnography, my goal is to gain insight into disability culture from the perspective of a parent of an intellectually and developmentally disabled child. The goal is always to have our disabled children, who will become disabled adults, have as much autonomy and freedom, and that's what we do as parents. We advocate for them, we teach them to advocate for themselves. They find their place in the disability world. They find their place in the world, period. And we saw that a lot in some of the books and some of the articles we read this year, how disabled people found their place within their community and within their culture. Now, when you parent someone like Angela, who doesn't necessarily actively participate in disability culture, she wouldn't necessarily actively find her place herself. It's my responsibility, which I take very seriously, to immerse her in her culture and in her community. And she does have a lot to offer her culture and her community, even if it's not the same way that other disabled people do. And I've struggled a lot with that this semester. Where do I fit in? Not only myself, I guess, where does Angela fit in to disability culture with her intellectual and developmental disability? She's not going to write a book. She's not going to write an article. She's not going to make art that speaks to her disability. She's not going to participate in theater and dance and all of that kind of stuff. She's not going to do that unless I facilitate that for her, which I want to. She still has a lot to offer, even though she can't do those things by herself. So what I struggle with is, where do I fit in to this world by helping her facilitate those things and not overstepping my boundaries, if that makes sense. Because Angela is her own person. She does have 7 years of life experience behind her. She does have a lot to offer. And in everything we've read this semester, I haven't found exactly anything that speaks to a disabled person like Angela. So I really have been struggling with that this semester, and I'm hoping to gain some insight into that, which I have been, as I write this autoethnography. So I would love to hear everyone else's feedback, what you think, just how you think Angela, or someone with an intellectual and developmental disability, fits into disability culture along with their caretaker or parent, which happens to usually be the parent, but also their caretaker, because someday I'm not going to be here and Angela will have a caretaker. How does that person still actively participate in disability culture and the disability community and keep Angela active and a vital part of disability culture and the disability community. Thank you.